Okay, so let us start. Today I'd like to add selection to the terminal emulator. So we can paste stuff in now. Got like something here I can actually copy out of here. So if we do like, I don't know, man xclip, which I have installed, you can copy and paste it into the terminal. But we cannot select and edit. So that is what I will be working on now. Let us go. So to start with, we're going to need to add a little bit of a selection state somewhere here. So I know we've got like this cursor, got this frame buffer. I'm going to term view. None of this really matters. Really, this can be like somewhere down here. All the way down here. We're not going to do anything too crazy here, so we're going to start by having a little enum selection states. And we're going to have a selection state starting, no, let me see. Yeah, it started. It's going to be like a little state machine here. That's interesting. Haven't seen that in a while. And also it seems to not be related to, it seems to be unrelated from, look at that later. It does not seem to be repeatable, so that's really weird. Anyways, words, so you can select in words. So you know, like in ST, if you like click something and so if you click something and you're holding, we're gonna call that started. And nothing's gonna happen until you move the cursor. Probably that makes the most sense. So that's all good. You can just select anything like arbitrarily. Um, this is actually a little weird. I don't know why it selects like the whole line. Oh, it's because that line doesn't have anything on it. That's interesting. I'm not too sure about how to do that just yet, actually. That wouldn't work like how I was thinking about doing this. But anyways, so like if you start here, you can go to like here. But if you double click, it starts selecting words. So we're gonna have that for sure. And if you double click in a space, it will select like that space and it's still like in the word selection mode. So we're gonna support all of that. We're gonna have none, we're gonna have started, and we're gonna have words state. And then we're gonna have a little bit of a struct here called the selection struct. And the selection is gonna have an state, and it's gonna have you do here, it's gonna have a click param. Basically when you do a single click, we need to start like a timer that starts counting down for however long you want to wait until you would no longer consider. So like if we click once, right? We click once and then we click again. We haven't double clicked yet. But if you click, there's like a time period you have to just sort of decide there. So we'll have to have that. We'll have to keep track of that. And then we're gonna have a couple UV2s in here. We're gonna have a UV2 start and end like positions, and then yeah, and then let me think. Let me think here. So I think that's all we need for now. Let us start. So we're gonna have this. We're gonna add it to our little term struct here. Um, we're gonna have that one, and let's just do a little build. If we could type correctly, that would go a little bit better. So that's gonna happen because we changed the struct layout. That's okay. So now let's go ahead and we're gonna do a mouse callback. So I thought okay, yeah, here we go. So there's two different ways you can do this. Like you can track the mouse movement. I don't think that's like super useful in this case. I think we'll just query the current mouse position when we are in this mouse button callback. So let me think here. You might need like another. You basically need like a way of indicating that the selection's invalid. Besides it having length 0. Maybe it's just like another state flag, to be honest. So SS none, SS started, SS char, so you're selecting characters. That seems to make sense to me. So first thing I need to just check is like if this sends like mouse like repeat. It says the action can only be pressed and released. So we're not going to get like a repeat or held here. So all we can actually do here is start the selection, start the timer, and set like these to whatever the position is. So let us do that. We're gonna need a function called I don't know where I should shove that. Let's just shove it in here as well. We'll shove it like way up here somewhere after the key, before the keybind functions. So we're gonna have a static uv2 mouse to cell space. Can take a v2 mouse position because the mouse thing we're just gonna get. How do we get the mouse position? We don't care about any of this weird cursor stuff. So you can set like a position callback, but we're gonna like ignore that. We're gonna just do the. Oh, this is annoying. They need to be doubles for some stupid reason. But okay, so in any case, this is gonna take a V2 mouse. Then it's gonna have to convert. So we'll just leave a to do here. We'll come back to that. So this is gonna return UV. Let's do a UV2 result. Gonna be equal to 0 for now. Um, well, this is going to be in pixel space, so it's never going to work. We don't want to. I'll do that in a second. So let's go back to our mouse button callback. And we're going to do if action equals glfw release, we're going to do. Now we're going to need to get this terminal pointer first of all. That's the first thing we need actually. So if it's a release, we're going to reset the terminal to selection dot click param equals 0, key to selection dot state is going to be equal to none. Possibly. I'm gonna have to decide how to display this, and we need to know. Do we have like a? We got like an IV2 here. Let's use an IV2 because then we can just set this to -1 to be invalid. That sounds like more reasonable. We're gonna just use the end to mark it as invalid. So actually, we don't want to do that here though. Else, we're going to start a timer that's going to be equal to 1f. We're going to say started not quite. So this is a press. So we're going to say if key to selection dot state equals started. Sorry, we don't need to do this. We can say if it does not equal the last one, state plus plus. We can do that. key to selection, so we're going to need to get the current mouse position. And we do, where's the dealio here? We can do a glfw get cursor, win, and x position, and y position. Mouse to cell space. We're going to need to pass in t, and we're going to need to pass in v2. v2.x equals x position dot y equals y position. And then we're going to do start equals cell, and dot end is going to equal cell. How are we going to know that the selection has been invalidated? So let me think. So normally, if you have this and then you click and then you release, that's when it would become invalid. If you have something selected and you release, it does not become invalid. Which means we need to do something here fancy, probably. If the state equals started, so you can also just do this, and that's still valid. So if it equals started, then we're gonna make it invalid. Funny, this just lined up like this, but anyways. Otherwise, we're going to maintain that selection. So this should just do the trick for now. So for now, we're not going to do the drag, but we are going to just do this. So this will... we're going to have to do like a simulate mouse step, because we need to be able to just reset the click, or sorry, decrease this click param timer. So we're going to have to do that. Let's actually have mouse to cell space, and we're going to have down here, we're going to have a void simulate selection, or let's call it step selection. No, know what we can call this. Simulate selection. I don't know. I don't have a better name for this right now. It's going to take a terminal. Not really. Does it even need that? I'm not sure. But it needs like the window. So we'll see about that. For now, we're just going to say that it has this. So is there like a DT getting stored somewhere? Or do we have to pass that in? In the GL struct, there's actually a DT. But it's actually probably better not to store this here and have this just be stored as like a global variable. But we'll deal with that later. So for now, this is actually all we need is the GL context. So and then we just need the selection pointer SL. Okay, so in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do let's actually do this way. So bound define selection let's just call it double click time. And it's gonna be I don't know, for now I'm gonna make it 500 milliseconds, so like half a second. Let me just do it this way. So then all we have to do is do cell to click param minus equals GL to DT. If cell to click param less than 0, we need to set it to 0. Pressed. So if the button is, or rather held even, let's call it that. Let me see here. Get mouse button. DL to win. There's like ST, no, you can't use like right mouse or middle mouse to do anything. So mouse button left. Okay, so if held we do nothing. If it's not held, cell to delta state is going to be equal to none. It's no clamp. and we will return. Oops, that's not right. We want to set this to 0. Hi, welcome to the stream, Ellie. Do you have a link to the GitHub repo? Um, Funnily enough, I don't think I've posted this one on GitHub yet, but I checked today and you can actually clone it from my website. So if you want to look at the code, you can, well, anyways, here's the link on my website, but there's like a clone command there. Yeah, it's there's a lot of work that's involved in doing it, but we're at like a working state now, which is like pretty nice. Um, I'll probably upload a version of it, like a mirror of it to GitHub at some point. I just haven't done it yet. Um, so yeah, this is actually the terminal emulator that we're just using right now to edit the terminal. Okay, so now there's a problem here though, that if we were I don't know, this should be fine, I guess. Yeah, exactly. I'm like still missing a ton of features, but I got it to like the working state, so I've just been using it for my daily programming, and it's been going good. Yeah, so there's a problem here. Like if we don't want to like come in here and then go to none. Or no, we can go to none. It's just we don't want to invalidate the state. So if the state was already valid, then we're fine. Otherwise, we're gonna do we're gonna get the mouse position. So we're gonna do that same thing again. Get mouse. That's not what it was called. Where is the mouse position? I don't care about that. I just care about where the mouse is. Cursor position. Get cursor position. GL to win. We're gonna do that. And we're gonna update the selection to end. It's gonna be equal to mouse to cell space. Oops. Mouse to cell space. But this needs the terminal. Because it needs to get the cell size. Yeah, the cell size needs a terminal. So guess that is that. T to GL dot win, T to GL, blah blah blah. Okay, so let us convert this to a cell. Let me see here. So is this just gonna work if we just come in here? Really, this probably doesn't need to be in here. So if we come in here and we're not held, we're gonna set it to none and we're gonna return. Otherwise, we're gonna get the position. I don't need this here. I need this here. So then we're gonna divide we're gonna take the mouse dot x and we're gonna divide it by the cell size dot width. The result dot x is gonna equal this plus 0.5, so we will round it. And we kind of need to make sure this doesn't go out of bounds. I don't think it can go out of bounds, never mind. But we will put an assert here just to make sure that during debug it doesn't go out of bounds. Actually, it should be less than this. Okay, so let us try this. Back to the mouse callback. I'm gonna have to call this simulate thing at some point, but we'll do that after. Let's just go into here where we've converted this, and we're going to do a let's do this, take this, clicked cell equals u, and we're just gonna do cell dot x and cell dot y. Okay, so we've done something dumb, obviously, which is this doesn't take a terminal pointer t. That should be window. Signing IV2 from incompatible type UV2. Right. This should be an IV2. Let's do this differently. Between result.x 0 e to size dot w minus 1 dot y. Okay. I don't know why that's unhandled OSC, but it is apparently. Oops. Okay, so this is now an IV2, and that's reloaded. So now, theoretically, if we click somewhere, we're gonna get some output into this console. So click cell, let's click like 00. Can we ever get? Yeah, that might be a problem. So that should be 00, not 10 or 11. Oh, but we are doing like rounding. That might not be quite correct. So mouse to cell space. Let me see here. Mouse to cell space. So we do want to round this, but then we want to subtract 1 at the end. Could actually put us out of bounds, though. Maybe it can't put us out of bounds. I don't think it can actually. So there's a way of getting it out of bounds, and that's if you click something that's not a cell. Let's just clamp actually. So I think clamping's like the more appropriate thing to do in this case. So instead of just doing this assert, we'll just clamp. This way we can click wherever randomly and it's never gonna go out of bounds. So now let's actually do something with that. Let's at the end of our, before we do this flush, let's do a thought we had like a push, some sort of push cell or push empty cell. So there's push cell, but there should also be like push empty cell. It's not being used. Push empty cell rect. Sure. It's like a little bit more complicated than what I need it to be, but it will get the job done. So this is going to take the render push buffer. It's going to take the terminal. Key to selection start dot y key to, this is only going to be 1 for now. Let's also put like a no commit here. Start dot end dot y. And then we're going to do the same thing. Selection, start dot x t to selection end dot y end dot x, sorry. And now this code hasn't been run in a while, but theoretically it just works still, or it crashes. Why does it push like a single color? What? Huh? push empty cell rect. Why is that like a crashing thing nowadays? 0, 0 is like valid, so we don't want this color. I'm gonna make it foreground color first of all, so it's actually visible, but not seeing why this is just crashing. Do I really have to open up a debugger for this? So there's our selection up in the top left. Um, why is it crashing like that? So be it. If I have to open up a debugger, that's what you have to do sometimes. I have no idea why it would just be crashing. We're hitting this assert. Why would we be hitting that assert? I mean, that's why we would be hitting that assert. But the selection, I see. So first of all, those are not, that is not a valid selection. Right. So we just need to actually we don't need that. So we just need to actually if p2 selection dot end dot x does not equal -1 is obviously garbage test code, so who cares? So we can do that. So there we have to keep it held down for now because if we let go, it's gonna disappear because it's not valid. But there we go. So let's see. So sometimes that looks like it's good, but I feel like sometimes we're getting a little bit off the nearest cell, like here. Like here, why is this? Hmm. Mouse to cell position. So cell size is a vector. These are both just floating points, so we shouldn't really have that problem. We can get rid of this, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, it's gonna put us like way off. Hmm. So let me see. Wonder why, like, I feel like that might be because this cell size, which is actually not in here. Yeah, so I think it's because this cell size, oh, that wouldn't really make sense. Probably we just need to have this be like a little bit more fudged in one direction until it feels like good, right? So this Y position doesn't need to be like so high. Oh no, actually it needs to be, oh, it's like everything's like opposite. That makes sense. So this Y one actually needs to be like this. So these are just like magic fudge constants. So that's still like a little bit. Why would that be? Like this is just like off by a little bit for some reason. No, I think it's because of this. I think it's because our viewport is like slightly weird. So really what we need to know is the um amount of like extra padding there was. I think we actually have like have that stored. So size somewhere here there should be like a size. Um so this size it's not the size I'm thinking of. So this window size. This is just means we have to do a little bit more complicated math here. And we're gonna have to know how like adding when I go to add padding for visuals here, this is gonna be a problem. But what we really need to do here is we need to actually there's a little delta that we're gonna calculate. Um let's do this differently. So we have delta y is going to be equal to this actual window size, which I believe is this full thing in pixels, divided, or sorry, not divided by, um, minus, we're going to get like a little thing here. So minus the e to size.h times cell size.h. So now we are completely not where we're supposed to be. Why is it always going to the bottom? What did I do here? That's dumb. Oh, sorry, I should be doing this before we're doing this. I think it's minus delta y. That seems more reasonable for the y positioning. So then we'll do the same thing for the x positioning. No, we don't need this. Okay, there we go. So let's try that. The x is still strangely off. More so than the y. So this one actually needs this +5. Possibly with this. This X selection is just weird. Why is it like ever so slightly wrong? So like if we get rid of this, but can we still click 0? Okay. Seems reasonable to me. Okay, so we got that now. That's this is a little messy, but that's okay. So we're gonna do that. This doesn't really need this in it at all. So now we will call this simulate selection. So let's just say right before we do this, actually doesn't matter when we just do this. Um, I don't know why I've done this, to be honest. Kind of pointless. Okay, so now we're calling simulate selection, and we're gonna say fault, which is always a good sign. So right, that's because that can go. I think I actually know what the problem is there. I could type something that would actually show up. So if we go the other way, though, it will work. So yeah, we have to, in simulate selection, we just have to make sure the order is correct. New position is going to equal this, and then we're going to say if um, if new p dot x less than equal to start dot x, so cell to start dot x, and cell and new p dot y less than equal to cell to start dot y, else cell to end should equal new p. So theoretically, this should work now, unless that still happens. Theoretically is a funny word. So that still works. This way still works. I think it's across lines. Oh, I see what's happening. Right, so we have to flip that. That's annoying. And it just randomly still breaks if you go that other way. Let's fix this other one first. So we have to, in the simulate selection, that is not quite right. That is definitely not right. We definitely need to invert something here, but which one is it? Or where's the appropriate place to be inverting, I guess. What would be up here, first of all? So we have to flip. We have to flip something here. We want to measure from the top of the screen down. The top of the screen should be 0. This is like wrong though. So this delta here is going to give us this amount of space here, which is fine. Just print out the mouse we got here for now. So the mouse is going down. So this number is increasing as we drag down, but we want it to that would still be 0 at the top. So that's where this is going wrong, I think. We want to subtract the screen height from the mouse. And that's going to give us what? What's that going to do for us? Wait, this doesn't even make sense. So how could this give us the... Why is it only breaking when we start dragging? This mouse to cell space is just fine. It's here that there's something wrong. Just go to that printing. Don't need that nonsense anymore. Um, do this in 2 separate steps just to make sure I'm not doing this wrong. No, because it needs to, the line part is important. So n should still equal end. Okay, this is where it's complicated. So if new p dot y this is going to be a little bit tricky to get right here. Also, that rectangle drawing might just be wrong, so let's try this. Start.x, start.y, end.x, end.y. Oops. That's if we go into here, so which one is changing? Oops. Weird. So I feel like that push empty cell recs like backwards. I think that's just the problem. Like I said, that function's not used, so it's just completely wrong. When we're doing push cell, how are we getting like the position here? Um, render to frame buffer is doing what? I need to move this push empty cell rect down. This is not like a used function. So I'm gonna move it down here. So we step by minus the cell size dot height when we advance the row. So it should be minus sorry, it should be this times let me just see here. What's going on? Something here is like completely just dumb. Which part of this calculation is wrong? This X part is like correct, pretty sure. It's this Y part. And the size is just correct. It's just the position that's it's just this. There we go. There we go. That direction is still broken. Let's just see here. Wait, is it? If you go along that. Okay. Let's do that. Let's hear that. Let's see. Don't need that anymore. What we do need to figure out is what's going wrong there. So that would be x is less, but y is now greater. Actually, so sorry. So that's like a different condition. So that's just a breaking thing with that stupid printing that I don't really care about right now. Because this is not that's not how we're gonna draw the selection. So um this part is just correct now, where this like properly highlights the area you're expecting. But we're gonna delete that part now. We're gonna do this somewhere before. Where we do it doesn't particularly matter, but we do need to do it. Probably before we render the push thinger. So we're gonna do that. I'll just call it that instead of simulate, which was a stupid name. Update selection. What I would like to see is that we can go into a state and keep that state. So let us oh, we'll just print it as an integer. It's fine. So we can never go past 1, even if we're clicking. It should go before this, which is gonna just spam the console, but that's okay. So we're in 0, now we're in 1, but we double click and we just instantly go back to 0. So that's obviously wrong. So actually before, when this became true, this is actually what we care about. Then we can return. Oops. I don't know why I deleted that. It was silly. I typoed like half a thing there. So we're still not going into state 2. So why is that? Right, because we're doing this release. This is just wrong. Probably we can just ignore this release. Let me think about this. This will fix that state problem. But we just go into 2 and we never exit 2. So for some reason, mouse button... For some reason, mouse button... Oh, right, we're not checking that the mouse button equals mouse button left. That would explain that part. So let's do this. Map mouse buttons. Map other mouse buttons. Now right click doesn't do anything. Why does this, or is the state actually reset? No, it's not getting reset. Why is that? No, it is. It just wasn't printing that. So that's fine. Okay, so sorry, that was just hard to read. So we've got this going. Now we have a state here. If we're doing um sorry. So then we're gonna return otherwise. Right, it doesn't even make sense. This held state cannot this can't even happen. I don't know why we're checking that. This needs to be a separate thing though, obviously. So okay, so here it's really what we want to know is if the mouse moved this frame or not, which is a little bit annoying. I think it's just because this is going too fast that it's hard to see what's going on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. So double click is supposed to put us in Word though, um, and not in character. So we need to do something else here where we do yes, my bad. Oops, I shouldn't have deleted my printf there. My printf. Okay, well, that was dumb. So, okay, if cell to state equals cell start ss started, cell state started, cell to state there. Then what we're gonna do is printf. So we shouldn't see any ones anymore. And we go up to 3. So that's good. So I don't know if this started state makes any sense, but it might. It might. So I have an idea here. Let's leave. Let's only touch the cell to end in this function. And then in the mouse button callback, we will well, this is never going to happen now. So this is going to be wrong, to be honest. So let's start drawing this properly now. So we're gonna do the render frame buffer, I think it's called. So in render frame buffer, we're doing a cursor, and then after we do the cursor, now this is gonna be a little inefficient. So the main problem is that this can like overdraw, which is not what we want. But anyways, let us start with this. Use a selection dot n dot y. Where are we here? Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. We're basically going to be doing the exact same thing we just did here. Except we have to start in the proper position. And we need to grab this cell. We're going to invert it. So we're going to toggle it. Let's just scope this whole thing so that you can reuse that name. Okay, so this cell is going to start at a different position. This is going to be equal to cell size dot width times it's like that. T2 selection. This is a problem because we have to keep track of some start and end points. Yeah, right. This has to like account for like the width. Let's just put a comment here. Check if the line, if the row changes, So actually, let's even just comment out the row part for now. We're only going to care about this starting y for now. Why is there like a bunch of missing spaces up here? So wait here, sorry. Type like half a thing here. We need to make sure this is actually doing what it's supposed to. So this should come in here. This goes with that one. Should go out there. All of this stuff is wrong. This doesn't matter right now, but that's okay. We'll just leave it. And the rest of this looks fine to me. Ah, my bad. So, okay. Right, this is just expecting the... This has to make its own cell rect as well. Okay, that's fine. How did that even end up there? Who knows? Okay, so what did I call that? Cell style. Cell has a style. Okay, so not cell state, cell style. So there's our selection. Doesn't work when we go in reverse. Does work if we go forwards. Looks like the alpha is getting messed up a little bit by that, so we're gonna have to figure that out. Other than that, other than this weird messed up alpha, that's good for like the first half. So let's go back to simulate cursor because update selection is what it was called. Let's get rid of this printf. mouse button callback. Get rid of the printf here. That can stop spamming us. Now, I still need to be able to do this and actually have it go to like invalid state. So how can we do that? This is never gonna happen right now, because of the way I just set this up. Yeah, so if we only touch, okay, so this, leave that commented, let's do update selection. So now we can actually detect if we've gone through this loop by doing by checking if the end position is still -1 or not. If this is equal to -1, but we're held, let's do this first. And we can combine this later. If new p dot x does not equal it almost would make sense to just store the mouse and just compare the mouse to determine if this might not be the most efficient way of doing this, but let's try it. Yeah, okay. You could also just do mouse start, mouse end, and just store those and then do the conversion after. What if we just did that? That would actually be easier to handle, I think. Let's try this actually. Let's switch this up. I don't want to do that though, because that makes things harder to debug. It's just the problem is that if you convert this to mouse space, you lose some information. So let's do the dumb inefficient thing for now. And we'll store the mouse at the start. even better. Just do this. Oh, this is not where I meant to do this. This was in the mouse button callback. I meant to do that in. So, okay. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Let's see here. It's gonna start the selection for us. Then in the update selection function, we're gonna do if I'm just like worried about floating point precision, but just to get this right at the start. Let's do this, and then we're gonna say, we're done here. If we're not held, now we run out of time. Do this. If the selection's invalid, it will remain invalid. If it's not invalid, it needs to remain not invalid. So we need to set it to invalid at some point. And I think that makes sense at the start of a click. Yeah, that's gonna be fine actually. That's gonna be fine. Of course I forgot I was doing that, so it was a bad time to do that. Then in here, this is where we're doing something stupid here. So render push buffer. Render to frame buffer. Where's the what's this called? I thought it was render frame buffer, right? Yeah, okay. If p2 selection dot end dot x does not equal -1. I'm gonna do that. So in update selection now we are doing something where we're touching that when we shouldn't be. Right, so probably we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna remove started because that's kind of useless. If mouse dot x does not equal cell to mouse start dot x. Sorry, if these both are equal, which I'm like highly suspicious of because of floating point error, but okay. So now we can invalidate the pointer. That actually works fine, surprisingly. Let's get rid of this started. It's pointless. Okay. So that works fine for that part. I do think that's like faster than X than ST even. Maybe not. Okay. Just seems more fluid than I don't know why that is, but anyways. Um that could be me, that could be placebo. Okay, so let me see here. So let us now use this. We've got the mouse, we can shove that in here. So that's good. Let's do the render frame buffer. So here, what we want to do instead is, so we're going to start at the right position, and we're going to do unfortunately, this cursor position is a UV2 if I'm not mistaken. This is probably not going to work. Okay, so that can actually be changed to an IV2 as well. Okay, so that's actually fine. We can do this. Render frame buffer. So we're gonna make ourselves a little cursor here. T2 selection start. Then we're gonna do this. Cursor dot x. Cursor dot right, this is not right. What am I even typing? Cursor dot position dot x. Cursor dot position dot y. And we're gonna do this, so that's good. Then the next thing, so here, this looks correct to me. And then for that, okay, get rid of this R. Get rid of that. There shouldn't be two of those. Selection should start at the cursor position. Dot x, and then it should go on until the selection dot end dot. This is where it gets a little weird. So we need the minimum column. The minimum between t to selection dot end dot x and t to selection dot start dot x. No, we want the. No, so this is where it gets weird. So if the line count is greater than 1, yeah, okay, so how do we do this? If we're doing more than one row, we have to do something different, is basically the crux of this comes down to. So we're gonna have to pre-calculate full rows. So full rows is gonna be equal to start.y if they're on the same row, this would give you 0. If they're on different rows, this would give you greater than 1. So this is correct. So then this should be n dot y minus full rows. Actually, this doesn't even matter. So we don't need to know that because we can just do this. So here we'll fill out the row. So this maximum here would be whatever I used up here. It should be like theta size dot width. Yeah. Do full rows first. Then yeah, so sorry, here's where this gets weird. So this position dot x we need to not have this separate c variable is the problem here. Then we can do cursor dot position dot x equals 0. We're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do okay, so we're getting somewhere. So what happened here? Oops. Yeah, so that should be cursor dot position dot x plus plus. Okay, so we can only do the full rows now. So that's a good start. That's actually correct. So now we need to just print the second, finish up the last row. So for the last row is going to be so okay, so let's see here. Just use the cursor position for both of these. This doesn't need to be an actual cursor either. I don't know why I made this an actual cursor. It's completely unnecessary. Okay, so this would reset the cursor in the last iteration. Basically, we want to do um, if there's remaining cells. How do we know that there's remaining cells here? And I'm gonna have to stop. So let's just finish this up and then we'll stop. The clipboard part will be not too difficult to do based on the way that X or that ST does it anyways. So okay, so how do we know? So we have if the cursor position I think it's basically just this inner loop here. Less than oh yeah, it is. So T2 selection and dot X. The cursor is all either going to be where it's supposed to be or it's going to be 0 because it got reset here. Yep, that is correct. We are not doing that anymore. Probably don't necessarily need that anymore. Let's leave it. I have done that first. Okay, so position. No more position. Okay, so let's see how this is gonna work. A. Oh. There we go. We got the selection working. Now, so like one thing to note is like if you just so let's say we just do that in ST, right? And we just go and paste that. It includes like that 3 and that crap. So honestly, we could even get this working like really quickly here. So I'm just gonna hack it. Well, I don't even need to hack it in to be honest. Copy. And copy is gonna be Alt C. Let's go find paste. I'm gonna take this. The only problem is that we don't have like a buffer. And I don't want to like allocate some giant buffer on the stack because I don't know how big the window is. So I kind of need the arena in here, which is a bit of a problem. Well, huh. Basically, we're going to do the same thing that we just did in this render frame buffer, which is, I don't know if there's like a better way of doing this, but we're going to like cut out some of this. So if t to selection end equals -1, we're going to return 1, so we still handle it, but otherwise, it's not y. I don't remember what the scroll the screen down is in this. So just gonna do this. Okay, and then we're gonna I'm just gonna be super piggy right now and just allocate this on the old stackaroo. I'm not even gonna put a no commit here because I'll fix this. I'll probably just off stream because I just want to have this quickly working. So we don't need this anymore. We just need a cursor. We don't even need this. So let me say buff curse equals 0. And we're just going to do the super piggy thing. Super piggy thing here, which is going to be what am I doing here? Buff curse plus equals term view TV term view pointer TV equals t to views plus t to view IDEX. Dot code point. So this is actually a problem. If there's UTF-8, this is going to be like a big trouble. Right now, I know that nothing in the frame buffer is just UTF-8 code points, so... But... Yeah, we do need to think about that. We're just going to cast that to U8, like a super pig. Even a care even. And then we're going to we're just gonna crash right now. I mean, we're gonna crash anyways, but at least this way we won't corrupt a bunch of memory and do a bunch of garbage. Okay. Then we're gonna do the same thing here. And then we're just gonna do buff of buff curse equals 0. And then we're gonna do GLFW, um, clipboard in and output. Set clipboard string, which does not even need anything. It just needs this. 0 buff. There you go. So let's try copying. We have to add word selection, but let's just do this. We've selected that. We've still got it selected. Hey, look at that. Firm view. Hey. So that's pretty good. So that's a good start. This super piggy thing is just going to get more piggy. I'm just going to make sure I have access to the arena somehow. Um, it's just going to allocate like a giant. And we can calculate like how much space we just need. I just don't want to. Um, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna keep allocated, obviously. So like we can calculate the worst case amount of space we just need. That is not correct. That needs to be fixed, obviously, but I don't know why that's actually doing that. Oh well. So this is a good start. I will look into that one. And then tomorrow we'll try to do the word selection probably if I'm live. Or I might do it offline. We're not resetting this properly. So how does this happen in ST? It's just as soon as you press like another key, it just gets invalidated. So I think that's reasonable. You can either click to invalidate or you can press a key. Um, so in key callback, char callback, this is actually a problem because if this happens before the key callback, then you wouldn't be able to copy the text. Oh, I guess this shouldn't happen though before that. Right, so just invalidate it. And we should still be able to copy. Yeah, that works fine. Looks good to me. Let's just do this properly, even though it doesn't really matter if they're both -1. Yeah, obviously that's not what the type is. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty cool. I would say that's a good start for today. Because this is like a little complicated to just handle. Obviously there's still this bug, but that shouldn't be too hard to fix. Here we don't care, so gonna do this. So, yep, I think that's looking good. That's definitely a lot better than what I had it at the other before. I'm gonna make a note of this alpha being screwed up, which I kind of thought it might be by doing a multiplication, but otherwise, um, thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.